All right, let's jump right in. We're about to pull back the curtain on a company you've probably never heard of, but I promise you, its technology is in your hands right now, it's in your car, it's all around you. This is the story of the hidden architects of our digital world. I mean, think about it. We live in a world that is completely built on silicon. The chips inside our phones, our computers, and especially those giant data centers that are fueling this whole AI revolution, they're literally the bedrock of our 21st century lives. They're like these microscopic, impossibly complex cities. So that begs the real question, right? We all know the names of the companies that design the chips, but who builds the crazy advanced, unbelievably precise machines that actually make them? I mean, how on earth do you build something on an atomic scale? Well, a huge part of the answer is a company called Lam Research. They are one of the most critical yet least known players in this whole semiconductor game. They provide the highly specialized equipment that all the big chip makers depend on. So let's break down what they actually do. Okay, this looks simple, but believe me, making a chip is a process with hundreds and hundreds of steps. Lam focuses its expertise on three absolutely critical stages. First up is deposition. This is where their machines lay down films of material that can be just a few atoms thick. It's mind-bogglingly precise. Next comes etch, which is my favorite part. It's basically microscopic sculpturing. Their equipment carves away material to create the tiny, intricate 3D structures on the chip. And finally, clean. This sounds simple, but it's vital. Every surface has to be perfectly, spotlessly clean, because a single speck of dust can wreck a chip worth millions. Now, selling a multi-million-dollar machine is really just the beginning of the story. Lam's customer support group is a massive, massive part of their business. It's not just about fixing things when they break. It's a strategic, high-margin operation that provides a steady stream of revenue. It's about providing spare parts, performance upgrades. It's about creating this sticky, long-term relationship that locks customers in for the entire life of the tool. Okay, so we get what they do. Now for the big question. How is the business doing? Does all this cool, super complex tech actually make money? Let's look at the numbers. All right, first up, the headline number. For fiscal year 2024, revenue clocked in at just under $15 billion. Now, you gotta remember, the chip industry has its legendary ups and downs, its booms and busts. So a number like this shows you just how constant and critical the demand for their gear really is. But you know, revenue never tells the whole story, does it? Look at these other numbers. Cash flow from operations, over $4.6 billion. That tells you the core business is just a super healthy and efficient cash machine. And then there's a number I really want you to see, that R&D spending. They pumped $1.9 billion back into research and development. For a company like Lam, that's not just an expense. That is their future. It's the fuel for staying ahead of the competition and basically outrunning Moore's Law itself. So you've got this healthy company that's generating a ton of cash. What does that mean for the people who actually own a piece of it, the stockholders? Well, let's see how Lam's success translates into real value for its investors. Remember that big pile of cash from operations we just saw? Well, here's where a huge chunk of it went. In fiscal year 2024, Lam returned over $3.7 billion directly to its stockholders. That's a serious commitment, and they do it in two main ways. First up, you've got dividends. About $1 billion of that went straight into shareholders' pockets. It's a direct, reliable cash payment as a thank you for their investment. Nice and simple. But the really big piece of the pie was this, $2.71 billion used to buy back their own stock. So what does that mean? Basically, the company is betting on itself. It's using its cash to buy its own shares off the open market. This reduces the number of shares out there, which tends to boost the stock price, and signals that management is really confident about the company's future. Of course, it's not all smooth sailing. No business, and especially not one in an industry this crazy, gets a free pass. So let's look at the road ahead, the challenges they're facing, and on the flip side, the absolutely massive opportunities. And yeah, the risks are no joke. You've got geopolitical tensions, which can lead to trade rules that change overnight and affect who they can sell to. The industry itself is famously cyclical. It's always boom or bust. Global supply chains can be fragile. And of course, the technology changes in the blink of an eye. You make one wrong bet on the next big thing, and you could be left playing catch up. But for all those risks, the potential reward is just staggering. This quote from the company itself says it all. The entire industry is on a path to become a $1 trillion market by 2030. $1 trillion.
That's not just growth, it's an explosion. And it's all going to be powered by AI, 5G, the Internet of Things, and stuff we haven't even thought of yet. And guess what all that stuff needs? More chips and more advanced machines to make them. Which really leaves us with this one big question, right? As we all demand faster, smarter, more powerful technology, the physics problems get harder and harder to solve. So, what is the ultimate value of a company like Lam Research, whose entire job is to literally build the unbuildable and, in doing so, to make the future possible?